I need to have time. I need to look for another tenant. So if you're giving me one month's notice, I can look for a tenant so that by the time you're leaving, I don't lose money as well.
Ask you to leave their premise without a 30 days notice.
Yeah.
So regardless of whether they really desire to distress and they couldn't distress, they cannot evict you without a notice. 30 days, proper notice, yes.
Distress, it avoids the courts a lot, because by the time you're going to court, it's 6 months down the line.
Now
this guy has not paid for 6 months, you understand? So they usually allow, it's like I can't do it on Sundays and they can't do it at night. Those are the rules. There's a case that determines that you can't do it on Sundays. Hello and welcome to the Sisters-in-Law podcast. My name is Beverly Mokaya and I'm here with
Aquila Mokaya. In this podcast, we discuss matters law.
I'm talking about matters family law, employment law, tax law, contract law, and any other areas of law. We've got you covered.
Remember to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment down below.
So on today's episode, we want to talk about a very interesting topic that affects a lot of the middle class. Yeah, a lot of tenants and Kenyans. It's called distress for rent. What rights does a landlord have over your property or your house in the event that you have not paid rent? In the event that you have rent arrears and they need to collect it and you're not paying. So that's the topic for today.
Yeah.
Generally, first of all, there is a misconception or a myth that we need to debunk. A landlord is not allowed to lock your
door.
Yeah, to lock your house. Like unakuja unapata padlock, it's not allowed. It's illegal. You can actually go to court and get special damages for it. Like you can go to the tribunal. There's a tribunal called Rent Tribunal.
Rent Tribunal.
BPRT is for commercial premises and business premises. Yeah. So you can go to the Rent Tribunal and ask for damages. You file an application to get damages if your landlord does that.
Yeah, so while at it, they are not also supposed to your utilities. They're not supposed to affect your utilities, like switching off the lights.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Switching off the lights or preventing like water supply and things like that, like any utilities that they have in their control, like kukata kuchukuliwa takataka and
and sadly, that's what happens in most rentals nowadays. Yeah, everywhere. It's everywhere. Utasikia watu wanakatiwa maji because they didn't pay rent, or maybe the lights are switched off. There's that thing where they have a main place where there's every token, whatever is there, so you can token meter. So they turn it off because they want to put you in a corner so that you pay the rent. They're not allowed to do that. You can also take them to court.
That's so wrong, though.
It's very wrong. It's very, very wrong.
Okay, we understand that it's their houses, but they can't live in a lonely society.
Yeah. The other thing that they're not allowed to do is hold on to your deposit. Yeah. So in the sense that you're done, your tenancy is over, and of course you have to give, the deposit is the amount that you put in when you're coming in for them to hold it in trust for you. And in the event there are any repairs, they will come and fix it with that money and things like that. So if you're done living in a house and you want to move and you need your deposit back, you're supposed to get it. Of course, they have to factor in things like repairs and things like that.
Yeah.
But in the event that landlord anakata na deposit yako, you can take them to small claims.
Oh my God!
Because now what they say is after tenancy, after you're done living there, the contract is over. So you
really? So you can't go to the tribunal?
Yeah.
Okay, just a quick question. If, for example, I am moving out, so we're moving out from our house, and I need to give notice, right? So I give a one month notice according to the contract. If I don't give out the notice, are they supposed to return the deposit?
It depends on your contract. Because you see, most contracts usually read that you give a 1 month's notice.
Yes.
Or you pay rent
For
one
that 1
month
month,
rent. Yeah.
yes.
So for example, ukitoka, I think the rationale behind that is I need to have time. I need to look for another tenant. So if you're giving me one month's notice, I can look for a tenant so that by the time you're leaving, I don't lose money as well.
Yeah.
So if most contracts will say you either give a 1 month's notice or you will pay 1 month's rent in lieu of notice. Kama kupeana notice, you have to pay that 1 month's rent. Yeah.
So that means they have the quote unquote right to forfeit your deposit if you did not ask for it.
Yes. If you didn't give notice. So if you didn't give your 1 month's notice according to your contract, they can forfeit. You have to forfeit the deposit. You can't go for it because now you're supposed to pay them the 1 month's rent.
And then did they refund your deposit? They returned 4,000. Okay.
Oh, okay. So now what usually happens, now after you're done living in a place and the contract is over and you want your deposit back and you're not getting it, you send a demand letter to the landlord. That's what you do. By the way, if kama umekatana na deposit yako, you send a demand letter and then you can ask them to itemize how they've used it. Yeah, for example, give me invoices, give me receipts.
Like how they bought the rangi.
Yeah, how do you know the way they will say that paint is 10,000
and it really is not.
You know your deposit was 50,000, so paint is 10,000, labor is 20,000, and then by the time they give you back your deposit, it's like 5K
out of 50.
And we all know it's the agents usually just keep this money.
Oh really?
Mostly, yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Because just they're the ones who took it, they used it. The landlord is probably not aware. I mean, agents just do a lot of funny stuff.
Oh my god,
yeah.
That's interesting. I used to think that as long as it's the relationship is landlord tenant, we would go to the rent tribunal. But now we can go to small claims. Wow, that's interesting. So it's now like a date. Okay.
Yeah. Now it becomes a debt because the contract is essentially over. You're no longer a tenant, you're no longer a landlord. It becomes a debt. Nikama, I gave you money
and you didn't
then you didn't refund it.
Okay.
Yeah. So ideally with distress of rent, is it distress of or distress for? It's distress for rent, yeah? It's actually a whole act that talks about all this, a whole statute in parliament that talks about how you should levy distress of the landlord.
So just like a brief conversation on what distress is. It's like coming to take your fridge, your TV, your laptop.
Because you were unable to pay.
Yeah, because you're unable to pay. So they go sell it and then they can recover their money.
Yeah.
Yes.
So ideally, normally with debt, if there's a debt, you would go to court. You get a warrant and then get an auctioneer to do that. But I think with this process of levying distress, it avoids the courts a lot. Yeah, because by the time you're going to court, it's 6 months down the line. This guy, has not paid for 6 months. You understand? So they usually it's like a shortcut. Where they can levy your things, they can
take your
distress.
You can sell your property.
They can sell your property. But now there's a right way to do it, and there's a wrong way to do it. Somebody
most
just
of our
can't
landlords do it the wrong way.
Yeah,
because most of us are ignorant.
Exactly.
Like in the sense of we don't know. I also realized when I was in uni, I never used to think that when a landlord puts a padlock on my door, it's actually illegal. I never used to think think it was illegal. I came to realize it way later when I think we're in law school. That's when I came to be like, kutufungia mlango.
They are not supposed to do that.
Anyways, so we'll go right into it after all the TMI.
So they're not supposed to do it at night. First of all, they're not supposed to just show up. Like today,
and they take your
things. They're not supposed to do that.
Such a rogue system.
Yeah. And they're not supposed to do that themselves. They need a licensed auctioneer for that. So if anybody comes to your house to tell you that they want your property, you just ask them, where's the auctioneer and where's the license? Can I see the license of the auctioneer? Can I see a letter to levy distress on my property? So they just can't show up. They have to give you a notice, 14 days notice. It's usually called a proclamation notice. It's the same thing as what auctioneers do with anywhere when they're going to auction property. They have to give you a proclamation notice, 14 days notice, just telling you your property. You can't move.
You can't move out and take them to your sister's place.
You can't move this property. We are seizing it, but we're not taking it away yet.
Yes.
So the purposes of these notices in Akwanga,
so they allow you time
to
get
pay
the money,
yeah,
and also pay, and also like further, you realize they give you like another notice so that you can come and reclaim your property after
before
you
they
finish.
sell it. Because ideally it's
Once they sell
attachment
it,
and sale. And let me tell you, you know, the way auctioneering is, this was just another cartel on its own. You find that most of these auctioneers usually have like our own workshop somewhere. So nakumbuka that client we had whose car was sold at 25,000.
a whole car.
Can you imagine? 25,000. They have their own two workshops
where they claim that the hammer has fallen, so the highest
so
bidder
the
has
highest
taken.
bidder was
But
taking
they're
it at
actually the highest
25,000.
bidder.
Yet it's somebody who's taking it and then they will go sell it at a higher price. So imagine you bought a car at 25,000 and then you go sell it at 700K. So they have like it's crazy. It's a whole cartel on its own.
Oh my God.
So ideally they have to give you 14 days notice before they take that property. But during those 14 days you can't move that property. You can't sell the property, you can't do anything to that property. It's like this property is sealed, but you can't take it away until you pay how much you owe us. They also can't do it at night. Right? You have to do it between
6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Yeah,
Why are you coming at night when someone is asleep?
Or on Sundays. They can't do it on Sundays and they can't do it at night. Those are the rules. There's a case that determines that. You can't do it on Sundays. You can't do it at night.
Because at night, what if this person works at night?
Yeah, I mean, it's looking like more of robbery.
Yeah, than it is distress.
Distress, yeah.
Yep.
So ideally, Nizo, 14 days. And then after the 14 days, now they can come for the property. Because you've not paid. You've not paid yet. They can come for the property. Now, after those 14 days, they have another 7 days. They give you another 7 days notice before they sell it. They tell you this, we'll go and auction it. But you have 7 days within which you can come and redeem your property. For something like land, it's usually longer. Those are usually longer.
40 days.
40 days.
Normally like a bit longer.
Very, very long. But also for things like TV and things, they give you 7 days. So within those 7 days, you're supposed to come and pay. If you pay, you get back your property. If not, they will sell it and there's nothing you can do about it.
Also, they're not supposed to take your personal effects, like
clothes,
shoes,
your bed,
and also like tools of trade. Like let's say you are a fashion designer.
Yeah.
So your tool of trade stays
sewing
in your
machine.
house.
Yeah, they can't
like
take that.
Machine is in the house. They can't take it because now how would you get the money to redeem that?
Yeah, if you're a farmer, they can't take your jembes.
Yeah.
You know, like they can't take your tools.
Your tools of trade. Yeah. So that the reasoning behind it is that they do not cripple you from being able to redeem the property. Because now let's say they've given me 21 days and I have a gig that's going to get me money within the 21 days. Now if you take my tools, how would I get the money? You know?
They also can't take property that does not belong to you. Like for example, if they come, they have levied distress, they go take your car out there because of course landlords usually know that they own the cars. So they come take it and maybe it's not yours. Later on you can come and you know those proceedings in Etonga, objector proceedings. Yeah, you can later on go to court and object to it and all that. But ideally what should happen in the moment an auctioneer gives you a proclamation notice, look for the money or look for a lawyer. A lawyer will always find. We know, like we understand these circles.
Things, you know, like this.
And auctioneers also know each other. So if you find that there's an auctioneer somewhere, they can always talk to this person so they can hold on to the property for a while before it's sold.
Yes.
Because now remember this case I'm telling you about, this guy whose car was sold at 25,000.
So
in fact, by the time we were following up, it was already dismantled. like it was already in parts, in pieces. So what they were doing, they sold it. I know they sold, and he was so attached to that vehicle. It was just crazy. Yeah.
Auctioneers are so merciless.
They are.
Oh my God. Anyways, anyway, the other thing that we have not mentioned is that a landlord cannot evict you without notice because you're failing to pay. Not because they want to distress and they can't distress. Maybe you don't have anything. Let's say like you just started off and maybe you live in a bed sitter without anything. So they can't even sell your mattress. You know, so they can't ask you to leave their premise without a 30 days notice.
Yeah.
So regardless of whether they really desire to distress and they couldn't distress, they cannot evict you without notice. 30 days, proper notice, yes.
Oh, another thing, by the way, there's something called controlled tenancies. Mostly this one happens with hotels and things like that. If tenancy is for less than 5 years and it has not been written down, like mostly just happens with hotels. For a landlord to come, and this is a whole different topic, by the way, but for business. What is it called? For protected tenancies or controlled tenancies, for a landlord to come and levy distress, they have to seek leave from the tribunal. They just can't come and levy distress on your property.
Business premise.
Yeah, it's a business premise. If you come in, everything is a tool of trade, including tables, including the seats, including everything is a tool of trade. So you have to
business,
seek leave.
yeah. For business premises is a bit technical.
Yeah.
It's more like a bit. It's not straightforward as distress
As your
for
nyumba,
house,
like residential
rent. Yes.
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay.
In the case that there are people who trust their caretakers so much, they give them like a spare key. So in the case that mtu hajalipa rent nini, and then the auctioneers come, and then the caretaker gives them the key, you're not there. Caretaker gives them the key, and then they come and remove your things and all that. Like punishment gani inapewa to the auctioneers?
That's very much illegal. Because it's stealing.
There's a doctrine called quiet possession, quiet enjoyment, in the sense that if you're a landlord and I have rented this house from you, you are not allowed to come in without my permission.
Yes.
Even if it's your house.
Yeah.
For as long as you've given me the tenancy, you are not allowed. Your caretaker, now you or your agents. Your agents. Caretaker pia ni agent.
Agent or employee. Yes. Because there's even a clause in the tenancy contract that normally says you get the rights of the tenant is that they get quiet enjoyment
of the premise.
So that's very illegal.
It's illegal. They can't come.
Did they do that to you?
And you can actually take them to the tribunal.
Yeah.
They'll pay damages.
Why would they do that?
They'll pay damages.
So wrong.
So there are people like that.
I know. By the I think the tenancy thing. I think most people always just feel helpless.
Because
imagine you depend on Wi-Fi, like you can't do without Wi-Fi. So you'll have to pay. So I think the frustration outweighs the
desire for
legalities.
justice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so we have come to the end of this video.
Yeah.
We hope you've learned a lot from the conversation.
And we're not sure you'll apply because
just try.
Yeah, just know.
We need to
know your rights.
We need to clean the system. The system is very wrong. They need to know that we know.
Yeah.
We know because you see, if they try, I wanted to make such a, let me look for a very soft way of saying it. But dictatorship thrives on ignorance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if you do not know, then they would always do it, even if they know themselves that whatever they're doing is wrong. They would still because you do not know.
Yeah, because for us we had there's a time we demanded for a deposit. I mean, I'm just saying it was a long time ago, but we demanded for it and we got it.
That's why I was laughing at the beginning of this video.
I knew it. I mean, Lord have mercy.
We have lived this episode,
and they didn't think we would go all the way.
Oh my God!
So just know you can actually do it.
Hey, my goodness!
Yeah,
and that's a story for another day.
Yeah, true. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'm sure you have enjoyed it and learned. If you can't apply it right now, maybe it's because the rent is very little, but I'm sure once the rent is above 150K, you will be
able to apply it.
So thank you for watching. I'm sure you've learned. Be sure to like,
share, subscribe, leave a comment down below.
Yeah, and see you next time in the next video. Bye. Bye. By the way, very interesting.
So bad. Maji, uko chini.